What's up? It's Mars Sports. It's your boy Marshall. We cover a variety of sports and leagues on this channel. One of the more underrated ones I think we do is Texas high school football. And listen, I know I'm graduating high school in less than 3 weeks. And it's not like I'm going to be the same age as these kids anymore. At least most of them, unless you're on. I'm not going to mention that. um, but uh, But yeah, one of the things I love doing is doing predictions for high school football, Texas high school football. 'Cause I feel like it doesn't get obviously as much coverage as like college and NFL do. I feel like it's just nice to like bring that into the world because it gets a good amount of coverage. Like Dave Campbell's exists and all that. But sorry, I don't know why I angled the camera that way. I was trying to get more centered. There you go. But today, we're going to be doing playoff predictions because I mean I have nothing else to do in class most of the time. I'm just there, and I think I like making. I think I like no. I know I like to make predictions. So I think this was something I could do at least, and I made it work. And we did playoff predictions. I already predicted which teams would actually make the playoffs a few months ago. And I'm not saying this would be completely accurate, obviously. Like, and even I'm gonna probably do one before the season, right before the season starts. Just have nothing else to do in class, so like I might as well do it. And I'm still gonna be watching, even when if I'm, as y'all know, I'm moving to Massachusetts. But even when me moving, even when I move, even after I move to Massachusetts, I still plan to watch high school football, Texas high school football. Because I mean, Texas, I thought about Texas high school football just hits different, man. And I think it's really cool. I've been into it for a long time now. I've been going to games for over a decade at this point, nearly my whole life. I kind of lost it for a few years. Well, as in like I didn't go to as many games just because when I moved out here, like COVID happened and just yeah. And then once I got into high school, I started to go to a lot more, the most games I've ever been to because I was in the marching band for Argyle High School, and our football team has been very very good. Like we're a dynasty. I'm not even trying to flex, but you look at our hit track history, like it shows, and that definitely helps because Argyle's football team is amazing, bro. Like two state championships, 2020, yeah, 2020 and 2013. Almost said 2023 on accident, but yeah. Um, and yeah, we've been very successful in five of Division Two so far, even if we can't beat South Oak Cliff. That's okay. We'll eventually get them one day, maybe next year. I don't know. But today I have predictions for high school football, and also another thing. I used to live in Mansfield, Texas, or technically Grand Prairie, but it's on the border of Grand Prairie and Mansfield. Um, but if y'all know what Newsom Stadium is, it was like right down the road from me from where I used to live. So I go out there a lot of Friday nights with my dad, and that's where it all began. Like we watched a lot of the games there, like watched Summit, Timberview, Legacy, Lake Ridge, and Mansfield High. And I've also watched like Lancaster play there. Some other teams, like I don't even remember what teams I saw play there. I remember now, but it's fine. I remember going to the Star for the first time, seeing a neutral site location match between Midlothian and McKinney, which was really fun. One of my old friends actually ended up playing for Midlothian's football team. I don't know if his name is Nick Tufel. I haven't talked to him in almost 10 years, but he was a player for Midlothian, which I think was awesome. If he was a Midlothian Heritage, though, that means I would have been able to see him play because Argyle played Midlothian Heritage the last 2 years. I at least got to go to his home stadium, but I didn't even realize at the time. But yeah, he played for Midlothian. Yeah, Midlothian's a good team, man. Even if I don't have them, even if I may or may not have, even if I may or may not have them making the playoffs in here, I don't. You'll see. But yeah, I think it's just I've been watching for a long time. I go to a lot of playoff games with my dad back then, like before like chaos hit our world, obviously, like the movie and stuff. We go to Fourth Center. I've been to South Oak Cliff versus Melissa 2023, South Oak Cliff Emerson 2023, and 2020 sorry, and then I saw Guyer versus DeSoto in 2022, and the starting quarterback for Guyer at the time was actually Jackson Arnold, who ended up being the Oklahoma quarterback, then Auburn. Now it's going to be at University of Las Vegas, or no, UNLV, I guess is what people call it. University of Nebraska, no, University of Nevada, Las Vegas, not Nebraska. No. Las Vegas is not in Nebraska, that's for sure. Unless there's actually Las Vegas, Nebraska. Hmm. That's cool. They have like fan pages. Yeah. And also saw South Lake Carroll DeSoto at Allen State a few years ago. I'm just shooting on my high school football experience. Like I've seen a lot of games. I didn't even mention the biggest part. Me and my dad go to state. Well, we're not going to go this year because of unless we somehow travel down here. We're not going this year because of the because we're in Massachusetts. But we've been going to the state championships every year for at least a decade at this point. Like at least probably over a decade right now. But we see a lot of state championships. I've seen some really really talented players like that actually go on to have big careers. Like Kyler Murray, I saw play at Allen long time ago. Um, too young for me to even remember, honestly. Um, and then I saw Caden Durham, who's a running back at LSU, go Tigers. Um, Corey Moore, who's one of the wide receivers for Oregon. I'm just naming off Duncan Bowl players at this point. Colin Simmons, who's of course been a superstar for Texas, and Keelan Russell, who may or may not be the Alabama starting quarterback. I don't know if he'll be the starting quarterback, but he's the Alabama quarterback. One of the Alabama quarterbacks now. I saw Kevin Jennings play back in 2021. He was at South Oak Cliff. Those are just numerous ones I've seen. I've seen so many amazing players, like too many to even count. Yeah, but there's that. But I've also been a neutral back when they used to have neutral site playoff games at Dallas. So it was not the state championship or Dallas Cowboys State at AT&T Stadium, which I think they honestly, part of me wants them to do that again just because it's a very very nice venue. Part of me also does it because I feel like it does give AT&T Stadium more exclusivity, I guess, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But I saw Lake Ridge Highland Park play a few years ago there. That was a really fun game. I don't remember who won that game. I was on the Jumbotron. I do kind of wish they did neutral site playoff games at AT&T Stadium again, although I kind of get why they don't. Plus, they got like Choctaw right down the street. Right, they got Choctaw right there, which they host. They put on a great show with their neutral site games. Yeah. Texas high school football just hits different, man. So that's why I'm really into it. And I'm still going to be watching it whenever I go. I'm going to try to get an FHS subscription so I can watch all the games. I'm at least gonna watch all the Argyle games. Yeah, I just love football. High school football has just been amazing. So yeah, and I'll watch some Massachusetts too. Trust me. Anyways, here's my bracket. I literally made all these today. I'm going to do up to 32 in the bracket, and like legit, I used to do this on Google Slides. But this has been much, much easier, much more convenient. And I'm sure there might be more convenient ways, but I'm just going to share the whole bracket now, just so I can get an idea. But let's go every single match. Just as I already did it, so yeah, I don't feel like doing it all over again. Or should I? I don't know. Yeah, not worth it. Yeah, I don't know actually. Is it worth it? No, not worth it. Let's see, and I'm only doing 5A and 6A. So, I already based my predictions off which schools would be put where for 6A. Because it's based off enrollment. Because 6A, unlike 5A and all that, and 5A and below, they're not split division for the whole season. It's only for the playoffs. Like it's like every other sport in UIL. for every conference, except in this case, it's on 6A. That this applies to. But basically, they play each other. There's 32 districts in 6A. Um, and uh, and then they split them by, and then once the playoffs come around, they split them by enrollment. So like the two biggest schools in the district go to Division One, and then the two smallest go to Division Two. Although I think the rule honestly should be, I think they should, I think they could modify it. Honestly, it's not a bad rule. I think they could modify it. I know it'd be more complicated, but the top two, it's based off more like top two, bottom two thing, just so it's fair enough. It's just sort of fair, more fair to like the top teams. You don't have to get like first round matchups like against really good teams, even when they're a really good team, like Vandegrift versus Westlake was a little weird last year. Although I think that would have happened either way. But yeah. But like my video, I think it should be take the top two in the district. The biggest school goes to Division One, and the small school goes to Division Two. Then the bottom two, same thing. But I mean, I think it's worked for years, so might as well. And then 5A and below, it's 5 Division One, 5 Division Two, and all that. They don't have to worry about it. They just split it for the whole year. It'll be very interesting to see what they do if that they were all together. Although I'm pretty sure it used to be like that. It used to be all the conferences were together and then they split them off the playoffs. But I think they just, and for instance, with the exception 6A, they split off. They did just split division the whole year, which I think makes sense because 6A has a lot more variety of like really good teams. And if they did split division the whole season, you wouldn't get Duncanville DeSoto as before DeSoto became a 5A. You wouldn't get Duncanville DeSoto in district play. Obviously, you can't avoid that. Obviously, either way, that wouldn't work now because DeSoto's a 5A now. But I mean, at least Duncanville and DeSoto are still playing each other. It actually has schedule predictions on here, and they might not be exactly accurate to what's on the bracket. But I figure I could at least get a bracket of what I had on here already. It's gonna hit me last night. I was like, it'd be very interesting to see where these teams end up. So yeah. But we're gonna start off with 6A Division One. We'll work our way down. Oh, that scared me. Why is it up here? Okay, there we go. All right. Let's start off with this one. So this is how it all came out after enrollment stuff. So yeah, let's do this. But let's start off in Region 1. Region 1, this case is District 1 through 8. Region 2 is 9 through 16. Region 3 is 17 to 24. Then Region 3 is 17 to 24. And then Region 4 is 25 to 32. So there's that. And I might have some hot takes in here. There will be hot takes, no doubt about it. But you might notice that some teams might not be in there. If there's really good teams in there, North Crowley, that aren't in Division 1, they'll be in Division 2, unless they didn't put them in the playoffs this year. Yeah. Let's do this. So starting off, Pebble Hills versus Midland Lee. I actually originally put Odessa on here on accident. But yeah, both these teams, they're decent, I think. Midland Lee is Midland Legacy, by the way. They're just changing their name back to Midland Lee. Because I know they had some controversial issues with that name back then. So yeah. But I think Lee would win that game. Then James Martin versus Eaton. Both these teams aren't great in my opinion. Like Eaton, the only reason I have them here is because the district's kind of a lot of the teams like Trinity is gone. Holy Bell's gone out of that district. So I think that puts room for VR Eaton to make the playoffs. I know VR Eaton did not do very good last year, but they're very competitive in a lot of games. So I think they'll break through the playoffs. Again, it'll be against James Martin. Martin's in that Arlington district, which outside of Aledo is pretty manageable. Like, I think it's very manageable outside of Aledo. I think James Martin is going to win that district. Then Louisville Princeton. This would not put Louisville against Allen in the first round. I don't think that should be the case. But Princeton's actually gotten much better since they got the 6A, ironically, which should not be the case theoretically, because Princeton was not very good in 5 Division 2 at points. But I think they'll make the playoffs. But I'm going to say Louisville wins that game. And then Coppell, Soccer, and Prairie. I'm willing to bet both these teams will have very good records going to this game. But I'm going to say Soccer and Prairie loses to Trinity. Well, that's a big rivalry, so you never know. But I'm going to say Coppell wins that one. Then Odessa Permian versus Eastlake. Permian's very good. They're definitely the best team out there in the West. Like they made it to the third round. They beat Eastlake, I'm pretty sure. Won the El Paso teams. They also beat Lake Ridge in the second round, a very close game. I have a lot of connections with Lake Ridge, so yeah, that's a high school I would have gone to if I didn't move to Argyle. Yeah, and I have a lot of friends there, like Jack and all that. But Permian, I think would be Eastlake. Eastlake, I think just that El Paso district is not the best in my opinion. It's not the worst, but it's not the best. Like Eastwood is probably the best team out of that district. Let's be real for a second. But they don't even make it further than the second round of the playoffs. So yeah, it's just El Paso is so isolated from everything else. That's makes it hard for all these schools. And then Byron Nelson versus Lamar. Uh, Lamar, I don't think they're a bad team. I don't think they're going to go very far. I think but they're not going to stack against Byron Nelson. I think Byron Nelson wins. And actually, Byron Nelson's playing Arlington to start the year, so there's a it's a different school in that school district. Allen versus Hebron. I actually originally had Marcus in Hebron's spot, but Colton Nussmeyer actually transferred to Ryan, so I think that Marcus will definitely take a fall from that. I don't think they'll be a bad team, but I do think that's going to hurt him a bit. Um, but I think Hebron's usually they're usually a decent team at least. Like they beat Lancaster last year, but I don't think they're going to beat Allen. So I think Allen wins that one. And then Trinity Plano, Trinity definitely got a break going to District 8. It's definitely not as tough as this. You don't have to deal with South Lake Carroll, Byron Nelson anymore. Of course, honestly, their first round game won't be as hard. Like, of course, they had to go against Lake Ridge in the first round last year, and Lake Ridge beat them by 9. Uh, but Trinity, I think it's actually the better draw for them. Plano's not a bad team. Like, they beat Permian last year, but I do think Trinity will win that one. Then Saxe Forney, District 9 is not very good, honestly. No offense. Wiley East is their best team who went undefeated last year. Then they got annihilated by Rockwell Heath in round 1, the first round of the playoffs. Who finished? Yes, Rockwell Heath's a great team, but they were like 7-3 last year, and before that game. And then after that game, they got crushed by Duncanville. I think Rockwell Heath's actually a good team. Although I don't have them making the playoffs just because I know their coach left. Their coach retired, so I think in a district like that, it's gonna be really tough. So I think it's gonna be really tough for them, especially in a district like that. So, but once I have actually more schedule predictions, I'll adjust this bracket. It'll probably be in August though. It's May 1st right now, so it's still time. But District 10 is one of the best in the state, in my opinion. You got Forney ISD, Forney North Forney. You got Rockwell Heath. I think Rockwell's due for a bounce back here this year. And then you also have Longview in there and Royce City, is actually a very underrated team. It's just their district's really tough. Like you put them in District 10 or put them in District 9, they could win that district, honestly. Anyways, I have Forney beating Saxon in the first round. Duncanville Temple, we see this match a lot, and Duncanville's going to crush them. Let's be real for a second. Temple ain't a bad team, but Duncanville's just. Yeah. Woodlands, Ben Davis. Ben Davis is in Houston, by the way. I think the Woodlands will win that one. I think Benjamin Davis can compete, but yeah. And Klein Collins versus Cypress Lakes. Klein Collins is very good down there. They're definitely they're for sure the best team out of that school district. So I'll put Klein Collins as the win. The Rockwell Wiley, I'm going to put Rockwell to win. Again, I think Rockwell's due for a bounce back this year. They went 4-6 and they still beat North Crowley. They're just in a tough district. That's the thing. Then Waco Midway versus Waxahachie. Waxahachie's going to win that game. They're probably the best our team on here, which is the second place. That means runner up. And then Houston Emmons, Grand Oaks. I'm actually going to say Grand Oaks wins that one. And then Cy-Fair Klein. I'm probably going to say Cy-Fair. And Cy-Fair is in Region 2 now, by the way, because the Cypress school is bouncing between sides of the bracket sometimes. So I think a chaos scenario would be putting North Shore, Summer Creek, CEK, and Atascocita in District 16, so they can be in Region 2 with Duncanville and everyone. My God, that would be chaotic. I don't think they're ever going to do. I don't think they'll do that. But I mean, they did put Port Neches Groves in South Oak Cliffs region last realignment, so I mean, anything's possible. Midland Lee versus James Martin. I'm gonna say Midland Lee wins that. My guess is that game will probably. I like to pick locations. My guess that game would be somewhere in Abilene. Abilene Christian would be a good place. Louisville Coppell. I'd probably say Coppell wins that one. That'd be a good game though. That would probably be at Stanford Stadium in Carrollton, if I had to guess. Uh, Permian versus Byron Nelson. Goodbye. They're all neutral sites at past this point. Permian Byron Nelson. That game probably being Abilene as well. Sorry, I ticked in. That game probably being Abilene as well. But I'd probably say Byron Nelson wins that one. Although, yeah, Permian could compete pretty well though. Allen versus Trinity. That game would probably be at maybe maybe Fort Center would be a good place for that game. I'd probably put Allen. Hello? Okay. Every time I stream, I have to go freaking eat dinner. I mean, it's fine. It's my fault for sure. I'm glad I get dinner. I'm not saying I shouldn't eat dinner, but every time I stream, I have to go eat dinner at some. Just I always come home in the evening, so that's Allen Trinity though. I'd say Allen wins that one. Although Trinity could be pretty competitive. Although Trinity did lose to Lake Ridge last year. Lake Ridge is a good team last year though. Uh, we'll get to Lake Ridge in a bit, but I'm actually. Yeah, we'll do and then I'll show you my schedule predictions because they're not gonna be completely accurate to what I put in the playoffs more than likely. All right, BRB gang. Hope y'all like that view. You're welcome. Sorry, the mute. Good. See you in a bit. Oh. Okay, sorry. All right, welcome back, guys. Or should I say, welcome me back? Actually, I'm the one that came back, not you. Okay, just kidding. Yeah, I love all of y'all. All right, let's do this. Midland versus Scott Pell. This would be a great game for Abilene Christian to host. I think Capel will win. I think Midland Lee's is not going to stack up to Capel as well. Obviously, I mean, yeah, Midland Lee's not a bad team, but I think that's just going to be hard to go against Capel. The Byron Nelson Allen, Byron Nelson definitely could be competitive, but Allen's just so good, man. I'm going to take Allen to win that one. Then the Duncanville Klein Collins, we saw this matchup last year. Duncanville smashed them, so I'm going to say Duncanville does that again. Let's see, Byron Nelson Allen would be a great one to put at Chalkball. And then Duncanville Klein Collins would be great. Probably at Hutto is what they put last time, so I think that makes sense to put there again. Then Waxahachie Grant Oaks, maybe somewhere like Belton or something, like Crusader Stadium and where UMHB is. I'll say the Waxes of Hatchies will take the dub there. And then Capel Allen, this is the regional final. I'm going to say Allen's going to win the region. I think Capel's a great team, but I'm going to say Allen wins this one, though. Then Duncanville versus Waxahachie. A rematch of the regular season. I'd actually say Duncanville wins it again. This would be great to have it like Midlothian again. This one would probably make sense for Fort Center, honestly. Then Allen versus Duncanville. Probably Mesquite again. I don't know. Like it was last time. But I'll say Duncanville wins that game. I think they will make it to the state championship once again. But you'd be very interested to see what I have for the regions 3 and 4. Okay, here we go. Boom! North Shore I have been Deer Park. This North Shore is so good, man. And Pearland I have been Taylor. Pearland went undefeated last year. And they could very well go undefeated again this year. Honestly, like Pearland just got the bad draw going against Dickens in the second round. Just how 6A is sometimes. And they have a even worse draw, I'd argue, with going against North Shore. Yeah, I know North Shore. Well, actually, North Shore may or may not be undefeated in my predictions. Let's see. What did I put Pearland's record? As I'm pretty sure I already predicted them. I think I put North Shore with 1 loss. Yeah, 1 loss for North Shore. I'll show you all my predictions in a bit. Yep, I have Pearland going undefeated again. Mom, can you get Leonard caught on the chew? Thank you. Don't come in yet, Leonard. Leonard, look at me. No, not you, not you. Here, Leonard. Come on, pick one. Come on. Actually, let me close the blinds just because you're gonna bark at someone who walks by. I don't want that right now, especially on stream. I'm streaming, man. Oh, cool. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry, we had a house showing today, so that's why all the windows were open. Yeah, Leonard's back there somewhere. He's very. We're choose. Oh my god. Who wins state this year? Is that Duncanville? Is that DeSoto? Is that North Crowley? I shouldn't be saying that. Go on. Get up. Boom. Good boy. That's a Gucci boy. Pick someone to choose. Jeez. Okay, I'll stop. All right. Really? Why are you okay? All right. Yeah, Pearland have gone undefeated again this year. So Leonard had my boy Leonard came in. My dog. And Strake Jesuits and Rantic are both two very good teams. But I'm actually gonna say that Strake Jesuit wins. Like I know Cinco Ranch is one of the best teams in that school district, but I'm gonna say Strake Jesuit wins that one. Granted, their whole school district besides Freeman's in one district for football. Because Freeman's a 5A right now. Well, once Freeman becomes 6A, it's gonna be a 10-team district, and they don't really have a choice at that point. Oh, he won it out immediately? Jeez, okay. You don't like that noise? I'm sorry. You're good for like the 2 minutes you're in here. Yeah. Okay. He might come back in later, so I'll just wait for him. Cy Ranch versus Vista Ridge. I'll say that Cypress Ranch wins that one. It's weird that Land ISD's in District 4 or Region 3, not in Region 4. And then Dickinson versus Summer Creek. Yes, this is a first round matchup, believe it or not. And yes, I put Summer Creek in Division 1. They're bigger than C.E. King and Atascocita at the moment. What's their enrollment? I'll pull up their enrollment real quick. Their enrollment's giant, dude. Like, let's see. They have their enrollment in order. So they got they're 11th. They're the 11th biggest school in Texas. Jesus Christ. Just behind North Shore. As Summer Creek has 4,110 kids. And that actually beats out who does it beat out? That actually beats out who else in this district? Where's Humble Atascocita? Atascocita, who is 35-79, and which is actually tied with East Central, San Antonio. And Humble Atascocita is 32nd. Where the frick is C.E. King? C.E. King or Sheldon C.E. King? Because apparently Sheldon Cooper is affiliated with the school too. Where is Sheldon? That's a pretty big school too, I imagine. I think. I don't know. That's 6A, of course. I can't find it. Sheldon. Not Sherman, Sheldon. Oh, wait, what the frick? Oh, I didn't realize they're bigger than Atascocita because Keene actually has 3,659 students. God dang, for 6A Division 2 is crazy. Like, I get that to do that for reasons, but I mean, it would be interesting to put although they can't really split divisions because of the El Paso schools. That's why there's not enough El Paso schools to cover it all. Let's see how many schools are in 6A. They're 243, but that doesn't count opt-out. So that doesn't count schools like Edinburgh and Bela and all going on ISD with the exception Name of Forest and Westfield. So I guess theoretically you could have 130, I guess. So like South Lake Carroll, they're never Division 1. That'd be interesting to see if South Lake Carroll's in Division 1 one day. Yeah, I think they do that just with everything. I like how it is, in my opinion. Yeah. Dickinson Summer Creek could be an insane first round game, like Vandergrift Westlake level. I do think Summer Creek could win that game. Dickinson, I think what I have as my record for them. Dickinson, I think they'll win their district. I mean, they think their biggest competition is Barber Hill, in my opinion. Yeah, 9-1 is my final record for them. Sorry, my high tech. Yeah, Lamar versus Dawson. I'd probably say Dawson wins, although both these teams are pretty good. Jordan, Fort Bend, Travis. I'd probably say Jordan wins. Even if they got shut out by C.E. King last year in the playoffs, who cares? I still think they're a good team. Who cares if they got shut out? They're still a good team. Hutto, Bridgeland. I think Hutto. This will be a good game. I think actually Bridgeland will probably win that one though. Lake Travis, Moe and Gene Johnson. I'd say Lake Travis wins that pretty handily, honestly. And Cibolo still Ronald Reagan. I think these two teams are actually playing each other in non-district play. I'll say Cibolo Steel wins that one. Been their stadium before for marching band practice once because them and Clemens share the same stadium. It's not a bad stadium, but it's kind of old. I gotta admit. I don't think they have a jumbotron there. Brennan versus LBJ. Probably Brennan. I think Brennan's a really good team. They just got a bad job of getting Lake Travis in the second round. Put AirPods in because Leonard's barking out there. And West Laco versus Harlingen. I'd probably say West Laco wins that one. And then Austin Bowie, Round Rock. I actually say Round Rock probably wins that one. Although I think would be really fun. A district with Lake Travis, Westlake, Dripping Springs, and Vandergrift. That'd be insane. And then CTJ versus Judson. I'd probably put CTJ to win that one. CTJ was really good last year. And then Loretti United versus Harlan. I go Harlan. I do think Brandon's going to beat him out for the district, though. But Harlan's a very good team, so who knows? Los Fresnos versus Acomodetes. I'm going to say Los Fresnos. And North Shore Pearland. I'm not predicting neutral location for these just because I don't know much. North Shore think we win that game. Strike Jesuit versus Cypress Ranch. I'd probably say Cypress Ranch wins that. That's some really good matchups in the second round. Summer Creek Dawson. That's actually a better matchup for Summer Creek a little bit than the last one. I'll say Summer Creek wins that one. Jordan Bridgeland. I think Bridgeland actually be better this year. I'll say Bridgeland wins that one. Lake Travis, Cibolo Steel. I'm pretty sure they're also playing each other in the regular season. I'm gonna say yes, they are. I'm gonna say Lake Travis will win that one. Then Brennan versus West Laco. Say West Laco wins that one. Just kidding. Brennan wins that one. Round Rock, Claude Taylor Johnson. I'll say Claude Taylor Johnson wins that. That's an epic band matchup, though, for marching band. Harlan versus Los Fresnos. I'll take Harlan to win that one. The North Shore Cypress Ranch. I'd say North Shore wins that. Summer Creek Bridgeland. I'll say Summer Creek wins that. Lake Travis Brennan. I'll say Lake Travis. You never know that Brennan will be out for revenge, though, to be fair. And Claude Taylor Johnson, Harlan. I'm going to say Harlan wins that one. That'd be a great game, though, between the San Antonio Powers. And then North Shore Summer Creek. I actually have Summer Creek win this game. I know North Shore won state last year, but I feel like Summer Creek's going to get him this year. We've seen what Summer Creek's done to them in the past. Like, they literally shut out North Shore last year. And then North Shore went on to win state after that. Summer Creek actually have Summer Creek losing to North Shore in the regular season, but I do think that Summer Creek will get back in the playoffs. You feel me? And Lake Travis versus Harlan. I'll take Lake Travis. That'd be a great game, though. I think those would be the two region winners. Region 3 will go to Summer Creek, and then Lake Travis will get Region 4. And Summer Creek versus don't know why I think Summer Creek versus Lake Travis. I'm gonna go with Summer Creek to win that one. That'd be a great game. Now, I think Summer Creek makes it back to the state championship for the first time since 2023. At least you're not seeing DeSoto again, but you're seeing Duncanville this time. Between Duncanville and Summer Creek, that'd be a great game, honestly. I think Summer Creek would actually be much better than years ago in the state championship. But I'm actually going to say that Duncanville will probably win that game. So I think Duncanville will win another state championship this year. I know it's a basic pick, but you can't really go wrong with Duncanville. Let's be real here for a second. Then take the Division 2. I have Eastwood beating Midland. Eastwood's the best team out of El Paso, in my opinion. So I think they'll use that to their advantage. I think Alito will beat Keller. Alito's going to be a 6 guy this year. I think they'll end up in Division 2 just because how big those Arlington schools are. Plus, Alito's still brand new to 6A. It's going to be brand new to 6A, so their enrollment's going to be lower than others. I have Guyer beating Walnut Grove. I think that'd be a great game, though, on this. I think Walnut Grove would be a great team next year. Like, they were really good for Division 1s, or for Division 2s, so I think they'll carry that success on to 6A. I don't think they're winter districts yet, Allen Prosper to deal with, but I think they'll make the playoffs, but I think Guyer will get the best of them. Lake Highlands, Haltom. I'd probably give that one to Lake Highlands. Haltom kind of ekes by just because their district's not great. In this case, they're going to be with like Grand Prairie, Trinity, and all are going to be big competition. Yeah, but I think Lake Highlands wins that one. But if I make any errors in these brackets, I apologize. Like a repeated team. I don't know that I already put. I don't know. Yeah, I thought Lake Highlands win that one. They're actually going to Lake Ridge next year. San Angelo Central versus Franklin. I'm actually going with Franklin to win that one. San Angelo Central is a great team, but I don't think they're going to beat. I think Franklin's going to win this one. Not to get confused with the Franklin that's like 3A, I'm pretty sure. South Lake Carroll and Bowie is not a bad team. They're a good team, but I do think South Lake Carroll is going to dominate them probably. Prosper Wakeland, epic March even matchups and the director switches. But I'm going to go Prosper to win that one. Wakeland's course 5, or Wakeland's of course in brand new 6A, so there's that. LD Bell, Richardson. I think LD Bell will actually make the playoffs in their district. The district's not the worst, so it's not South Lake Carroll and Byron Nelson and everyone else. I think LD Bell will fare out better in that district, but I do think Richardson is going to win that game. Richardson's a good team, so yeah. Then Wiley East Longview. I'm actually going to go Longview to win that one. Wiley East just sells when it comes to the playoffs. They did last season. North Crowley versus Copper's Cove. I'm gonna say North Crowley wins that one. Yes, North Crowley is in Division 2 in this scenario, just because Waxahachie and Dougville beat them in enrollment. Then College Park, Houston Eisenhower. I'll say College Park to win. They were great last year. Magnolia Landon Creek. I don't think Magnolia loses their first round game again. So I do think that at least next year, I think that Magnolia is going to win that game. Then North Forney versus Rolette. I'm going to say that North Forney wins that one. They're going to crush them probably. Rolette's actually 5A enrollment wise, so there's that. And then Harker Heights, Lake Ridge. Lake Ridge, I think, will get that 4th spot in District 11. I'll say Lake Ridge wins that one. I know it's going to be tough to go on the road, especially somewhere that far away, but still. I do think Lake Ridge will be a great team again next year. I don't think their record's going to be as good just because they're in a tougher district, but yeah. And then I'll share my record for them in a bit. Westfield, Willis. Well, Westfield's actually supposed to be a 5A, but they're off to the 6A. Because their district in 5A be very soft with Houston ISD. But I do think, even though they still end up with Houston schools, I do think Willis will win that game, though. Then Cypress Falls versus Tomball. I'm going to say Cypress Falls wins that one. And Aledo Eastwood, I think Aledo's probably going to beat them up in this case. That game would probably be in like Odessa or the Midland Broadhouse Stadium, whatever, Style Broadhouse, whatever it's called. The one that BOA Midland's at every year for Bands of America competitions. Dyer Lake Highlands, that would probably be. Where would that match be at? That could be a good one for like Ford Center. Or that'd probably be at like McKinney or something like that. Or Prosper would probably be a good place to put it. I'd say Guy wins that one. Usually Lake Highlands doesn't make it further than the second round of the playoffs, from what I can tell. They're a great team, which is they always get a tough draw for the second round like they got. Who did they get last year? DeSoto? I don't even know. Franklin versus South Lake Carroll. This would probably be at also in Odessa area. But South Lake Carroll will crush them. And then Prosper Richardson. That game would probably be in McKinney, if I had to guess. Or Melissa. Actually, McKinney would make more sense, honestly. I'll give Prosper to win there. I do think Prosper just has more talent than Richardson. Richardson's a great team, don't get me wrong, but Prosper's got more, I think. North Crowley versus Longview. That game would probably be in like Forney area. I don't know. Maybe Waco, because that's where they played at DeSoto. I'll say North Crowley wins that one, though. In College Park, Magnolia, I don't know where that game would be, honestly. Probably somewhere in Houston. I'll give that to College Park, though. I do think Magnolia's run will end there just because College Park's such a good team. Uh, and then the third round, Alito versus Guy is very interesting. I know they played each other a lot the last few years, so I actually say Alito wins that one. That game would probably be at like Argyle, Argyle SC Stadium. Yes, Argyle has a new stadium. If I didn't know that, it's a very nice stadium too. I've been inside it twice. They actually just did a grand opening for a few days ago. Or been kind of, I guess, even though it's been open for like 2 months now. But yeah, that game actually probably makes sense to be at like Northwest ISC Stadium would probably make the most sense for that one. So I'd probably say Alito. South Lake Carroll Prosper, Choctaw like last year, just don't put it to where the games end at 2 in the morning again. Maybe put it during the day this time. Although, actually, I have a funny story about that. But I'm going to say South Lake Carroll wins that one. I have a very funny story. So South Lake Carroll Prosper, if y'all don't remember that game was delayed for like 4 hours. The game starts like 11:30, then it did not end until like 2 in the morning. And because it ran for hours at that point. It was storming, man. They're about to start the game and it stormed. Yeah. One of the funniest thing about it, for me at least, Argyle Walnut Grove. Argyle played Walnut Grove in that exact same stadium on that exact same day. But it's actually in the afternoon, though. So I was a little weird out it was an afternoon game. Like, I thought it was pretty cool as an afternoon game because it would give more time I could do at night. But, like, at the same time, I was like, it's very unusual to play afternoon games. But I'm very thankful we got to play the afternoon game, or else if we didn't, if they would have put South Lake Carroll and Prosper in the afternoon, we would have evening. We would have had to wait 4 hours to play. Yeah, but we actually ended up beating Walnut Groves, which was nice. It was a chaotic game. It was like 59-52 is the final score. No, 59-42 is the final score. There's a lot of scoring, that's for sure. Walnut Grove's a great team too. They were undefeated at the time. I'm actually a little surprised they beat. Well, actually, not terribly surprised they beat them, but like considering how good Walnut Grove is, it was pretty epic. But I'll say South Lake Carroll wins this one, by the way. North Crowley College Park. Both these teams are great. They could, honest, both of them can actually be undefeated going into here. Did I make predictions for College Park yet? No. But I'm gonna say that North Crowley wins that one. The North Forney versus Willis. I'm gonna say North Forney wins that one. That would probably North Crowley College Park would probably be Waco, or maybe I could do a game at like the new renovated Sam Houston Stadium, LOT Bowers, whatever it's called. Yeah, although they probably play each other in Waco. The North Forney Willis. I know they play each other for it, so that probably be a good one to have in Waco. Honestly, I'd probably get that one to North Forney though. And Alito versus South Lake Bailey is a great place to play football games on for neutral site too. Alito versus, and of course Baylor games are great there too, and band comps too. Just look at the BOA Waco and True list, and you know what I'm talking about. Alito, South Lake Carroll. This would be an amazing game, by the way. Alito versus South Lake Carroll will be absolute cinema. This would be perfect for like, I don't know. This would be great for Choctaw, honestly. Like both these teams are incredible, man. Like it's gonna be crazy. I'll probably say South Lake Carroll wins that one. North Crowley, North Forney. That one would probably be good that one would actually be good for Choctaw as well. I'd probably pick North Crowley to win that one though. North Forney is a really good team, but their defense sometimes lets up a lot of points. So yeah, and North Crowley's offense is very good. So I know they have a new team. I know that North Crowley's a new coach this year, but I still think they're going to be. I still think they're going to be a great team this year. I think South Lake Carroll versus North Crowley. Well, I have to mention North Forney, Lake Ridge. They're in the second round. They actually played each other the last 2 years. And actually, Lake Ridge, one of the only teams they lost last year is actually North Forney. That North Forney team is really good though. North Forney just got a bad jog in Waxahachie in the second round last year. South Lake Carroll versus North Crowley, though, I'd give that to South Lake Carroll. Although both these teams are breaking in new coaches this year, so you never know. I almost forgot that South Lake Carroll's a new coach this year. Actually, completely forgot that. I'm not going to change my predictions because of that. I still think South Lake Carroll make it that far. It's have such a talented team. I'll get South Lake Carroll to win, and I think South Lake Carroll will make the playoffs. Or no kidding, they're going to make the playoffs, but I think they will make the state championship again. Let's go Region 3 and 4. So in this case, we get Seton in this region. Seton Clear Springs. I'd give this one to Seton. The Seton made state last year, so I mean they're going to be great again this year. And then Shadow Creek Stratford. I'm going to get that one to Shadow Creek. Shadow Creek's is a good team, so I think they'll make it through there. Ridge Point Paytown. Ridge Point was undefeated last year until they lost to North Shore. I'll give Ridge Point the win there. Cedar Park versus Waller. I'm actually going to get that one to Cedar Park. I think both these teams are great. Cedar Park is also coming from 5A as well, so there's that. But they had a good run 5A, so I think they'll marching band they won 7 state championships, something like that. In 5A, they have 9 in total. Yeah, but this is football. I think Cedar Park will win this game. Barboursville, Atascocita. Actually, have Barboursville finishing second in this district. Barboursville could honestly compete pretty well against Atascocita, but I think Atascocita is kind of a bounce back here. They weren't bad last year. They're a great team last year. They're better than the record indicated. It's just they played a lot of tough teams. They're in the district with North Shore, Summer Creek, and CE King. So they also had to play like Katy and all that last year. Pretty sure. I'm gonna say Cedar Park wins that one. Atascocita wins that one. Memorial Manville. I'm gonna say Manville wins. I know Manville's not as good as they used to be, but I think I remember Manville used to make state a lot, but they were 5A, but I like in the 2010s. I think Manville will win that one. And Katy versus Hightower. Give me Katy. I think Katy's bound to have a really good year this year. Actually, Merriman actually had them in the state championship. I'll get to that in a bit. And Vandergrift versus Fulshire. I'll take Vandergrift. I know Fulshire's had some really good years, but I do think they're in a tougher district, so I do think Vandergrift's gonna win that one. Who the district with? I don't even know the district with. Who's the other 23 team? God dang, where the heck is the other one? Oh, I'm looking the wrong way. Hold up. Waller, okay. Yeah, okay. Now we got to Region 4. Westlake, Jackson Hayes, much better draw for Westlake. They don't have to worry about Vandergrift until at least the state semifinals if they make it. Both the teams make it that far. But I think Westlake will beat Jackson Hayes. Hayes is coming back to 6A this year, so I think they'll make the playoffs just because their districts, Austin ISD teams. But yeah. Then Prosper, like Austin ISD, they're not terrible, but like they're not great, in my opinion. Like their best team is going to be Bowie out probably in that. I do have Bowie win the playoff game. Pretty sure. No, I do have Bowie making the playoffs. But I think I'd have Round Rock win that one. Piper, Thompson, Clark. Piper, I think, actually gets a better draw here in 6A because they don't have to deal with Smithson Valley anymore. Piper was a newer school too. I'm gonna say Piper wins that one. They actually fought Division 2 not that long ago. And then they had a little bit of a down year last year, but I think they'll be better this year. Especially getting ready for 6A. That's kind of weird, but yeah. Sonia Sotomayor versus Southwest from San Antonio. San Antonio Southwest is new to 6A this year. I do think Sonia Sotomayor is going to win that one. Sonia Sotomayor is still newer school though. They're open in 2022. They're part of that huge North Side ISD school district, whatever. Not North Side or North. Is that a North Side or I don't know yet. North Side or Northwest? I don't know. Northeast. North Side, Northeast. I forgot. Yeah, pretty sure it's North Side they're a part of. Yeah, Northeast has like Clyde Taylor Johnson and all that. Vela versus Brownsville Dens Memorial. Vela's actually supposed to be a 5A enrollment, but they actually opted up this year, which is kind of random to me. But I guess it makes sense because you get all the Edinburgh schools together. But Vela, I think, is a great team. They did have their. I'm pretty sure their coach had got into some trouble or something like that. Edinburgh Vela coach. What the frick? What the former head coach? I can't believe this is real. Former head coach Ernie Alonso, who used to be the coach at Vela. I should not. I'm sorry. This just sounds. What the frick? Former head coach Ernie Alonso was placed on paid administrative leave, and his coaching certification was under review following allegations and lawsuits accusing him of forcing student athletes to work out while naked. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. That doesn't even sound real. That is pedophilia at that point. Like, why? Like, I should not be laughing just because I can't imagine the fact you want to win, you got to work out. You got to work out on your birthdays. I'm sorry, I should not be making jokes with that, but but why? Why would you do that? That's just wrong. Obviously, I'm glad that the school district fired him. Like, I don't care how good of a coach you are. I don't care how good of a I don't care how good or bad of a coach you are. That is unacceptable. Yeah, so Vela could actually drop a little bit further than people think. They're hired in house that could at least help give some familiarity. Well, yeah, but maybe they'll be better because they don't have to work out naked. I don't know. That just sounds so stupid. Why would you want to work out naked in the first place? I don't even like to shower naked. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I don't want to shower fully clothed. Sorry. But I think Brownsville fans tomorrow will win that game. Just there's gonna be some turmoil with that change, obviously. So it's such a rapid change, much needed because I don't care how good Bella is. That is not the right thing to do. I don't care what you think. It's not right to force people to work. It's kids to work out naked. That's not okay. Anyways, Brownsville is Royal. I think will against this allegations, obviously, but still. But Brownsville more, I think, will win that game. Let's move on. Dripping Springs versus McNeil. McNeil actually beat Vanderbilt last year. Vanderbilt's a weird team last year, though. I would say Dripping Springs was that one. I think Dripping Springs bound to have a really good year. They're probably going to win their district just because that district is Austin ISD and Hayes ISD. So or Hayes Consultants, whatever the frick it's called. Oh, man. I don't even know, man. Brandis, San Marcos. I'll say San Marcos wins that one. That that'd be a good game, but I think San Marcos is actually one of our underrated teams in Texas. And then Eagle Pass, Sandra Dale Connor. I'll say Eagle Pass wins that one. This that district is going to be the San Antonio ones could be a little fluky sometimes. Then PSJA North versus Edinburgh. So we have a school in here that's moving up from 5A and one that's supposed to be 5A. I'm looking for 5A because BSJA North was has been 5A for the last 2 years and they've been very successful. Like they were undefeated last year. Probably been before. I think they've been undefeated before that too. Let me go to pigskin prep real quick. Hold up. It's like a whole newsletter, by the way. Why is it doing this to me? Yeah, I'll check it later. But I think PSA North will against Edinburgh. Edinburgh's not a terrible team. They're not a bad team. I mean, yeah, maybe I don't know how good their record was last year, but Edinburgh. Or Edinburgh, whatever the frick it's called. Yeah, the thing is, Edinburgh's been. Yeah, they're not bad. 7-5 was not bad. But I do think PSG North will win that game. Yeah, Edinburgh opted out to 6A this year. Because yes, they're behind enrollment wise, but they're still 6A. Which I mean, good on them, I guess. I guess it makes sense because like you want to get all the Edinburgh schools. Yeah, that's also why they opt out Bella as well. Yeah. Then CE Kane Shadow Creek. I'll take cheese. CE Kane to win that one. Ridge Point versus Cedar Park. Give me Ridge Point. Um, I think Ridge Point's just such a good team. I think they got a better job with that. And then Atascocita Manville. I think Atascocita will win that game. And Katie Vandegrift, that would be a great game, especially for the second round. I'm gonna take Katie to win that one. That'd be good for the Alamo Dome, honestly. Then Westlake versus Piper, not Prosper, Piper. Give me Westlake to win that one. It's just hard to compete with. I think Westlake's gonna have a bounce back year this year. And Sonia Sotomayor versus Brownsville Veterans Memorial. I'll take Sonia Sotomayor to win that one. Then Dripping Springs, San Marcos. I'll take Dripping Springs and Eagle Pass, PSA North. I should take PSA North to win that one. Then third round, CE King versus Ridge Point. Give me CE King to win. I think that'd be a great game though. And Atascocita versus Katy. I'll take Katy to win that. Actually, they're actually playing each other this season, so in the regular season. So there'll be a rematch at that point. And then, yeah. And then Westlake versus Sonia Sotomayor. Give me Westlake. And Dripping Springs versus PSA North. I'll take Dripping Springs to win that one. I think PSA North could compete, but like, although I don't know, we'll see. Although I think they could be competitive, but like Dripping Springs has just been so good the last few years. CE King Katy. I'm actually take Katy to win that one. That'd be perfect for NRG Stadium though. Westlake, Dripping Springs. I'll take Dripping Springs to win. I think that Westlake's run will win there. And Katy, Dripping Springs, I think will be able to reach the state semifinal. I think Katy wins Region 3 and Dripping Springs wins Region 4. I should say Katy wins that region, so wins that game. So semifinals for them. So I have South Lake Carroll versus Katy in the state finals. I'm actually going to say South Lake Carroll gets back to being state champions. I'm going to say South Lake Carroll wins the state championship this year. I think they have such a talented team, man. I know they have a new coach, but I think that team is just so talented, man. They're going to be really good. Now I got 5 Division 1. This is like W means first, runner-up means second. Sorry, W means first, runner-up means second, T means third, and F means fourth. So yeah, there's that. And the numbers what district they're in. So yeah, like on the other side, on the right side, right the letter, the number. So El Dorado, Tascosa, definitely a better draw for El Dorado. But last year they had to play Amarillo in the first round, a penalized Amarillo team. We'll get that in a second. Oh, I forgot to mention Lake Ridge was sorry to be yapping. Lake Ridge was arguably the most improved team in Texas last year. I forgot to mention that. I said I was going to mention it, and I forgot. El Dorado, Tascosa. I'm going to say El Dorado wins that one. They're a great team. Their defense needs some help, but I think that they'll win that game against Tascosa. And they won against 77-76 last year. You get them real like, come on, bro. Brewer versus Saginaw. I'll take Brewer to win that one. I think Saginaw's a good team, but I do think Brewer's going to get the best of them at that point. Saginaw went undefeated a few years ago, I'm pretty sure. And Amarillo versus Parkland. As long as Amarillo's not cheating this time, take Amarillo. Because actually, I learned this yesterday. Yesterday before. It was yesterday. Amarillo actually got penalized last year, so their 2-8 record was not as bad as. Yeah, well, it did end up being bad for them. They got a bad draw in the playoffs against El Dorado, and they lost that game. They went 2-9, but they're actually really, really good. Like they're supposed to be like an 8-2 team, and they're supposed to probably play a lesser team at the playoffs. But they had an eligible player for most of the game, so they had to redact all but one of their wins. And ironically, what the only one that had actually helped them for the playoffs, actually one of the teams they're actually competing against to make the playoffs in that case. So yeah, they had to forfeit a bunch of games. So if you got Amarillo's football season from last year, and it says forfeit for a lot of them, yeah, then you'll know why because they got in trouble. And I think Amarillo will be out for revenge. I actually say they win their district this year. I think they'll beat Parkland in the first round. I think it's gonna be a revenge year for Amarillo to what happened last season. And Chisholm Trail, Wyatt. I'll take Chisholm Trail to win. Yeah, the district isn't very strong besides Denton Ryan, but the Fort Worth district ain't great either. Arlington Heights is definitely, without a doubt, the best team in that district. Arlington Heights was killing teams in there last year. Yeah, and then Denton Ryan, Pascal. Speaking of, yeah, Denton Ryan, Pascal. Pascal ain't a bad team, but I do think that going against Denton Ryan's gonna be tough. So I think Denton Ryan's gonna win that one. Denton Ryan, I think, is going to be the team to beat in this region. Then Abilene versus Jim Hanks. Abilene, I think Abilene will win that game. Hanks coming up to Division One this year. I'm pretty sure they. I don't think they were Division One last year. Yeah, but yeah, they had to opt up a few other El Paso teams. So they don't have a 14 district game like Horizon and all that as well. And then Arlington Heights, Denton. Give me Arlington Heights. Just Denton's going to get through that spot. Although that could be Sherman in that spot theoretically. I'll make those adjustments if I need to. Just Denton, yeah. America's Friendship. I'll take Friendship to win that one. Friendship, I think, will be a pretty good team in 5A. I think it might take some time to get back to where they were, just because Memorial stole over half their kids. Friendship Memorial stole over half the kids. They had a crazy enrollment drop last season. They had a crazy enrollment drop year to year. It's similar with New Braunfels a few years ago. New Braunfels was a 6A back then. Now they're 5A Division 2. So yeah, it definitely does show. Where the frick is the stay enroll? I have it all pulled up right here. Let's see. Friendship Memorial. Oh my God, where is it? They have less than 2,000 kids now, I'm pretty sure. Frick. No, where the frick are they? Oh, there it is. Friendship lost between 2020, I guess technically 2023. Ever since the last realignment before this one, Friendship lost 1,404 kids. That's a lot of kids. And they went from 3,384 kids to 1,980 kids. And what's even crazier is Friendship Memorial is actually bigger than them now. They could honestly be pretty good next year, Friendship Memorial. I don't know how they're making the playoffs, but as the season gets closer, I'll put them in there. Friendship Memorial is actually bigger than them, though. That's actually insane. Friendship Memorial, where the heck are they? On here. Friendship Memorial has 2,194 kids. They're bigger than Friendship now. That is insane to me. I would have probably opened up Friendship, maybe a slower entry for them, enrollment wise. But or Friendship Memorial, I guess. But yeah, but I do think Friendship lost so much they could take a little bit to rebuild. Because last year, let's be real, they weren't great last year. But I do think they'll make the playoffs here. I think they'll be I think they'll be the Americas. Lone Star. It's just weird thing. Friendship's a 5A now. They could do a lot of 5A though. We'll see. The Lone Star versus Birdville. Lone Star, I think, will win that game. They were the runner-up from last year for state. Made me feel better about Argyle losing to them. Cedar Hill versus Tyler. Give me Cedar Hill to win that one. Cedar Hill, I think, is going to thrive pretty well in 5A Division 1, honestly. It's weird they're 5A Division 1 now, but still. It's weird that they're 5A in general. Let's be real for a second. They haven't been 5A at all since before 6A existed. Highland Park, Lebanon Trail. Lebanon Trail, I actually think, will make the playoffs this year. But they're not going to be able to compete against Highland Park, I don't think. I think Highland Park wins that game. Crandall, Lancaster, I'm going to say Lancaster wins that one. I think they'll be a much better team in 5A. I think they're better than what their records show because they actually were pretty competitive and also in a tough district, too. They nearly beat North Crowley at North Crowley. Yeah, North Crowley had some flukes last year, but still. They had a slow start to the season, but still. West Mesquite Summit, I'd probably say West Mesquite wins that one. That'd be a close one, I think. I know West Mesquite's going to break in a new coach this year, but from what I could tell, but I think West Mesquite's still an amazing team. Richland versus Reedy. I have to put NRH now just because Prosper Richland exists now, but I think West Mesquite I think Richland would probably beat Reedy. Reedy's a good team, but I do think Richland will get the best of them though. Plus, Richland's in a much lighter district than it really used to be. Their toughest competition would be Highland Park. Yeah, like you got Creekview in there, who they're pretty good, man. It's weird. It's weird to say because Creekview was trash a few years ago. They went 0-20 in 2 years. Not even kidding. And they're probably the biggest turnaround in a few seasons ago. Anyways, DeSoto Mesquite. That's kind of funny to me because they actually played each other last year in 6A. They're in the same district for 2 years. I'm gonna say DeSoto wins that. Yes, I know Mesquite went 1-9 last year, and Mesquite's not very good, but in their district that they're in, I think they could actually do pretty well, honestly. Yeah. Uh, and then Melissa Creekview. Creekview's gotten way better throughout the years, but I do think Melissa will get the best of them. Melissa's gonna be one of the most interesting storylines in there too. Anyways, second round, Eldorado Brewer would probably be at like Midland. I'll take Eldorado win that one. Then Amarillo versus Chisholm Trail. That one would probably be Lubbock, if I had to guess. I don't know. Or Canyon, I don't know. I'd say Amarillo would probably win that game. It could also be Wichita Falls too, theoretically. And then Denton Ryan Abilene, that game would probably be at I know it's at Crowley Field, so I think that makes sense. You put it like Tarleton or Brile Stadium where Stephenville plays that. I'll say Denton Ryan wins that one. That's probably going to be their biggest competition in the region, honest. Them and Amarillo. And then Arlington Heights Friendship. I think that'd be a good game, but I do think Friendship would probably win that one. That would probably be at like Friendship's near Amarillo. I think Abilene. I don't know. Lone Star Cedar Hill. That's actually a rematch from earlier in the season. I give Lone Star to win there, honestly. Lone Star is just so good this year, man. It's been so. I think they have a lot of returning production this year. They have one of the best players in the state too. I forgot his name. Yeah, but yeah, I think Lone Star wins that one. Highland Park, Lancaster. I think that'd be a pretty competitive game. I think Highland Park wins that one. Then West Mesquite, Richland. I get that one to Richland, honestly, just because I feel like West Mesquite's with their new coach is going to. I think they'll be a good team still, but I think it's good first year stuff. Obviously, could be interesting to see. Then DeSoto Melissa. That would be an interesting game. I feel like, but I feel like DeSoto will probably beat them up, honestly. Okay, DeSoto Melissa will probably be in where would that game be at? The Cotton Bowl, I think, would be a good place for that one. Cotton Bowl Stadium. Or SMU. West Mesquite Richland will probably be at Noosa maybe? Or Choctaw, I don't know. Highland Park, Lancaster would be good for SMU maybe? It was kind of a de facto home game, Highland Park at that point, but still. SMU, the Cotton Bowl, you never know. Or Kincaid would probably be a better place, honestly. Lone Star Cedar Hill. That would probably be in the Star, but if we're actually going neutral site this time, I'd probably say um uh Lone Star Cedar Hill would be at the great thing about Region 2 this year, or these next few years for 5 Division 1 is they're all in the SW. Besides Tyler, but still. They're within the same vicinity, I feel like. Lone Star Cedar Hill. Maybe Argyle? I don't know. No, actually that wouldn't probably make sense. Probably the I used to live really close to Cedar Hill High School. I used to live really close to Cedar Hill. Um, where would that game be at? Choctaw, why not? Moving on to the next round. El Dorado, Amarillo. Yes, I have two West teams going through. That will probably be in Midland. I'll probably say Amarillo wins that one, though. I think they'll get revenge from last year. I think it makes more sense as a third round game, too, rather than the first round. Ryan versus Friendship. That would probably be in Midland as well, or Odessa. I don't know. I get that one to Denton Ryan, though. Lone Star Holland Park. I know it was in the Star last year, but maybe like McKinney or something would be. I think Melissa would actually be a good place to play this one at. Probably get that one a Lone Star. Argyle's actually playing Holland Park next season. We played Lone Star last season. We got crushed by Lone Star last season, but granted, the team made 5 in Division One states, so there's that. We also lost in the year before that, but we actually almost beat them that year. But Richland DeSoto, I think that game would probably be at Stanbridge. I don't know. I'll probably say DeSoto wins. DeSoto's going to win that one. Amarillo versus Denton Ryan. That would be in probably Texas Tech Stadium. Be a great place. I think Denton Ryan wins that one. The Lone Star DeSoto would be interesting. Probably at the Cotton Bowl or SMU. I'll take that. I'll take DeSoto to win that one though. Then Denton Ryan, DeSoto. I said Denton Ryan's the team to beat in the region, but DeSoto's the team to beat in this whole freaking division. I'll take DeSoto to win this one. This game would be great for like Choctaw, honestly. That would be perfect for it to host. I'll get that one to DeSoto though. I think DeSoto makes state. Again, who knows how they handle the change? I know they're going down the conference, but still. It'll be interesting to see. Then here we go. For this one, 7:26. Geez, an hour, over an hour and a half. No. Granted, I was eating dinner for a while that, but still. And then, yeah, for the first round, I have Port Arthur Memorial win that one. PA Memorial is so good. I think they'll win that one pretty handily. Weiss Angleton, I think that'd be a great game. I think Angleton's going to win that one. I don't think they're going to lose their first round game again this year. Houston Madison versus Beaumont United. Beaumont United actually beat them last year, pretty sure. It was at least one of the Beaumont teams. Yeah, pretty sure it's United. I actually say Madison wins that one this time. Then Iowa Colony versus College Station. That'd be a great game. I think Iowa Colony will win that one, though. Randall versus Shoemaker. Give me Randall. Randall's going to be very interesting to see in 5 Division 1. I'm very excited for them. Westbury versus Lufkin. I'll take Lufkin to win that one. A&M Consolidated versus Friendswood. I'll take A&M Consolidated. And then Laporte versus Waltrip and Laporte. That's a beautiful stand they have, by the way. I don't think Laporte is going to win us. I don't think Laporte is going to lose their first round game again. Plus, they got a better draw with Houston ISD anyway. Citizen Valley versus Southside. I'll take Citizen Valley to win that one. Citizen Valley is the defensive champion, of course. Yeah. And then McAllen versus Corpus Christi Carroll. I'll probably get that one to McAllen. Then Medina Valley versus Seguin. Give me Medina Valley. And Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial versus Palmview. Give me Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial. Flower Bluff Mission. Give me Flower Bluff. Flower Bluff's played a team from Mexico the last few years, which is pretty cool. The John Jay versus Bernie Champion. I'll take Bernie Champion. They had a good playoff run last year. McAllen Memorial versus College and South. Give me McAllen Memorial. Anderson, Nixon. I'll take Anderson. The Anderson and Smith Valley would be a great matchup for the district, though. That's a really good district, I gotta admit. Yeah, Smith Valley. That's got Bernie Champion, who's a good team as well. Moving on to the next round, I got Port Memorial over Angleton. No, that could be a competitive game. I think Port Memorial wins that one. Then Madison, Iowa Colony. I'll take Iowa Colony to win that one. Probably pretty handily, but I guess. Randall Lufkin. I'll take Randall to win that one. A&M Consolidated Laporte. I actually take Laporte to win that one. I think they'll make a deeper run than last year. Since Smithson Valley versus McAllen, I'll take Smithson Valley to win that one. Medina Valley versus Corpus Christi Veterans Memorial. I'll take Medina Valley. Medina Valley, of course, moving down from 6A. Flower Bluff versus Burn Champion. Burn Champion, give me Flower Bluff. The Born Champion sounds better. I'm Born Champion. The McAllen Memorial versus Anderson. I'll take Anderson. The Port Arthur Memorial versus Iowa Colony. That'd be a great game. Port Arthur Memorial and Iowa Colony. I'd probably say Port Arthur Memorial wins that one. Randall Laporte would be a great game too. I think Randall will win that one. And Smithson Valley, Medina Valley, the Battle of the Valleys. That could be a pretty competitive game, but I'm gonna say Smithson Valley wins that one. Smithson Valley's defense is just so good, bro. The Flower Bluff versus Anderson. I'll take Flower Bluff to win that one. It'll be close in a close one though. The Port Memorial Randall. This would be game of the year potentially in 581, at least in that region. But I'm gonna take Randall in that one. As good as Port Arthur Memorial is, I do think Randall will get through. Oh, frick. In Simpson Valley, Flower Bluff, I'll take Simpson Valley in that one. And here's a really, really cool matchup. Randall versus Smithson Valley. A team that's the defending, well, not, but yeah, defending 5A Division 1 state, the two-time defending 5A state champion, two-time defending 5A Division 1 state champions in Smithson Valley, taking on the 2024 UIL 5A Division 2 state champion and runner-up last year, Randall. This would be a double hockey stick of a matchup, but I'm actually going to say that that'd be a great game. But in the end, I do think Smithson Valley's going to win that game. That would be a great game, though. I love to see that game, bro. Randall Smithson Valley would be insane, bro. Could you imagine? Yeah, that'd be crazy. Yeah. Then so that means I have DeSoto and Smithson Valley in the state championship, and I'm sure that's what most of everyone else has too. I do think Smithson Valley's run comes in there. I do think DeSoto wins 5A Division 1 state next year. It's just DeSoto's just so good, man. Like, yes, their defense has issues, but I think and Smithson Valley's defense could actually put them in a good spot. But that offense is just so hard to stop for the DeSoto. I think that DeSoto will win that game. Yeah. Now we got Division 2 now. Let's just go through Region 1 and 2. Real quick. All right. Starting off, we have where the Port Arthur Memorial? No. Yeah, Port Arthur Randall will probably be at, like, I don't know, one of the Houston stadiums. Or maybe at Beaumont Stadium. I don't know. The Doggett Stadium, whatever. Yeah. And then what else? I don't know where these Houston schools are, honestly. Randall versus Smithson Valley would probably be great for, like, DKR. Yeah. Or the Alamo Dome. I know it's more Smithson Valley home, but still. Oh man, that'd be an insane game, bro. There's Chapin versus Memorial. Oh no, Chapin gave Abilene Cooper a good run for the right last year in the playoff game. But I do think Chapin's going to win their district this year. Granted, they are losing Andrews, so it's definitely going to hurt them in terms of like strength of the district because Andrews is a 4 right now. I'm gonna say Memorial wins that game though. I think Wichita Falls Memorial will be good this year. We got Salina Lovejoy. Well, honestly, at one point I thought would be in the same district. This might be a great game. I do think Salina is. I don't think Salina's gonna win their district just because Salina is breaking a new coach with all the controversy with the other one, Bill Elliott's son and all that. Not Chase. This is a different Bill Elliott, by the way. But in my opinion, I do think Salina will probably win that game. I think they'll get better throughout the season. Voice crack. And then Paulo Duro is really good. Like, they're really underrated. Paulo Duro, Burgess, I'll take Paulo Duro to win that one. They're definitely the best team in Amarillo, in my opinion. At least in 5 Division 2. Then Colleyville Heritage, Panther Creek. This would be a great game. I think Panther Creek will do pretty good in 5A Division 2, but I do think Colleyville Heritage is going to win that game. They haven't won a playoff game since they beat Argyle a few years ago. Yeah, speaking of Argyle versus Frisco, I'm gonna take Argyle to win that one. Frisco's not a bad team, but I do think Argyle will take care of business there. We saw what they did to Lovejoy last year, so yeah. Adeline Cooper, Canutillo. I'll take Adeline Cooper to win that one. Just District 2 is better than District 1 at this point. Especially with Andrews being gone. Yeah. And Anna versus Eagle Mountain. Eagle Mountain I think will actually be a decent team this year, but I do think Anna's gonna win that game. Then Delvalle versus Lubbock Cooper. I'll take Lubbock Cooper to win that game. This is El Paso Delvalle, not the one in Austin. Then Region 2, South Oak Cliff Marshall. Actually, a playoff game a few years ago for the third round, I'm pretty sure. I'll take South Oak Cliff to win that one, though. The University Arlington Seguin. This would be a great game. I actually want to get that the Arlington Seguin, though. I think they're one of the more underrated teams in the area. Then Terrell Hillcraft. Actually, Argyle's playing Terrell in football now. Actually, Argyle's playing Terrell next year on the roads. That'd be a tough game. Terrell Hillcrest, I'll take Terrell to win that one. Terrell's gotten really good, so there's that. Timberview Ellison, I'm gonna take Timberview to win that one. Then Midlothian Heritage Belton, I'll take Midlothian Heritage to win. Then Texas versus Samuel, I'll take Texas. Then Brenham versus Ennis, I'll take Brenham to win that one. Brenham in Region 2 will be interesting this year. So yeah. And then they've gotten really good over the last few years. Yeah. And Mesquite Poteet, Mount Pleasant. I think Poteet actually makes the playoffs and gets the second seed just because they're with Dallas ISD now. Dallas ISD is terrible at football besides South Oak Cliff. Besides South Oak Cliff, those teams are trash. No offense, yeah. But I do think Mount Pleasant's going to win that game. Mount Pleasant beat Montgomery last year, which is a huge surprise, yeah. With a losing record, by the way, Mount Pleasant. I got Wichita Falls Memorial versus Solana. That game for sure be Mineral Wells because where else do they play? Wichita Falls. Honestly, Mineral Wells should just be their second home because they play so many playoff games there. They play Argyle there, Emerson. Yes, I count Ryder too because Memorial is just Ryder rebranded. Lake Dallas also played there. Yeah. Memorial versus Solana. I'll take Solana to win that one though. Palo Duro, Colleyville Heritage. I'll actually take Palo Duro to win that one. I think they'll win that game. Argyle Abilene Cooper, a rematch of last year's playoff game. Argyle dropped 77 on them. I don't know if they'll drop 77 again, but I'll take Argyle to win that one. Although that game probably be in either Godley or Stephenville, either like a Brow Stadium or Tarleton. Salina, which is off. Wait, Palo Duro, Colleyville Heritage would probably be in like Lubbock though, or Midland. I don't know. Then Anna, Lubbock, Cooper. I'll take Anna to win that game. That game would probably be in like Abilene potentially. Yeah, I think that's where they want to grow put him last year. Abilene Christian. Then South Oak Cliff Seguin. That game would probably be at Newsome. That probably makes the most sense. I'll get that one to South Oak Cliff though. Terrell versus Timberview. That game would probably be in like 40. Maybe at Kincaid Stadium, but I get Terrell to win there. Midlow Heritage, Texas. I don't know did they play each other last year? Either way, give Midlothian to win there. Oh, that was in Royce City. That makes sense. Yeah, it'd probably be Royce City at that point. Just because they're different parts. But I give Midlothian Heritage to win there. It's weird. I still find it so weird how they played Port Neches Grove last year. Yeah. Lucky for them, they don't have to deal with them anymore. Then Brenham versus Mount Pleasant. That game would probably be in like Waco or something. Or Huntsville. Or Bryan. I don't know. I'd probably give that one to Brenham though. Salina, Palo Duro. I'll take Salina. Palo Duro's a great team. I do think Salina will beat them. That game will probably be in Lubbock as well. I don't know. Or Wichita Falls, it makes sense too. Or Canyon. Argyle, Anna, I'll take that one. Probably be at Choctaw or Prosper. I would take Argyle there. It's a classic 4A match. Actually, the first ever Argyle game I saw at Argyle was against Anna. Middle school night a few years ago. If you know, you know. South Oak Cliff Terrell, that would be at North Forney or Forney. We get that on the South Oak Cliff. It's a rematch from last year. Midlothian Heritage versus Brenham. That game probably be in Belton, if I had to guess. But I'll get that one in Midlothian Heritage or Waco, I guess. And then Salina Argyle, I'll take Argyle. No, that'll probably be in Choctaw or the other place. What's the other place? Prosper or McKinney. But I'll say actually no, Prosper would not make sense if you want it to be equal. Maybe like at Collins. No, maybe at Browswell Stadium. I don't know. I'm just throwing out. It's like that's probably Choctaw makes sense, but that's actually a classic 4A rivalry. Salina and Argyle. That's a classic rivalry right there. Then South Oak Cliff, Midlothian Heritage. That game would probably be Mesquite. Pretty sure that's where it was a few years ago. I would take South Oak Cliff to win that one. That could be at Newsom, though, too. I think that was also Newsom a few years ago. Didn't they go to overtime there? So I don't know. And Argyle versus South Oak Cliff, Crowley, SMU. I think in this case, you could probably put Arlington. I get that to South Oak Cliff, though. I think South Oak Cliff will win that region. I mean, are you really, or that's not the record? Are you really that shocked, though? Let's be real for a second. South Oak Cliff should be a 6-up, honestly, if they want to compete against better teams. I think they're fine with it. They're with Dallas ISD anyway. And then Region 9, and then Region 3. The 4, let's do this. Let's start off with this. Montgomery, Texas State. I actually think Montgomery will win their playoff game this year. Frick. I messed up on here. Hold up. 1 second. 1 second, guys. I think I mistyped something. Let me double check something real quick. Okay, I just mistyped. Okay, fair enough. I put Texas State is not finished third. It's actually supposed to be F10. Sorry. My apologies. Netherlands are actually supposed to be in that spot. All right, there we go. By the way, yeah. Then Montgomery, Texas City. I'd take Montgomery. Win that one. Montgomery, I remember Argyle played them and Belton a few years ago twice. Montgomery had a few down years, and we crushed them both times. Yeah. And then Pflugerville versus it's called Pflugerville. Pflugerville versus Fort Bend Marshall. I'll take Fort Bend Marshall. I know they have not been as good as they used to be, but still. Port Neches Groves, Kingwood Park. Give me Port Neches Groves to win that one. Kingwood Park's coming from Division 1. I do think Port Neches Groves will win that one. They're in a bet. I think they have a better shot making state, honestly, with no South Oak Cliff in the region. Victoria West versus Elgin. Give me Victoria West. And then Almeda Crawford, Lassa. Yes, I have Lassa making the playoffs just because that district is terrible. 6 teams, and it's not very good. Almeda and Lassa's come back to football for the first time in a while, like UIL football. I would say Almeda Crawford. They're coming from 4A. They're actually really good. They're newer school too. I think they'll crush Lassa at that point. Dayton versus Lake Creek. I'll take Lake Creek. I know they haven't been as good last year, but I think they'll win that game. Bastrop, Santa Fe. I think Bastrop wins. I know they got 84 drafted in by Reno last year, but I still think they're a great team. And Huntsville versus Netherland. I'll take Huntsville to win that game. Huntsville is a great team. It's just sometimes they're better than what their record usually shows. I will admit, so yeah. Then Region 4. Winner of Region or District 13, I think, is Bernie. I think they will beat Lanier in the first round. Bernie's been the region representative the last 2 years, so there's that. Sharyland Donna, I'll take Sharyland to win that one. McCollum versus Liberty Hill. I know McCollum wasn't great last year. I think they'll have a bounce back here, though. I'll take Liberty Hill to win that one. District 13's loaded, bro. Ray and Pioneer. Give me Pioneer. Mercedes Roma. I'll take Mercedes. Mercedes went undefeated last year, I'm pretty sure. They lost in the second round, but still. Harlandale, Alamo Heights. I'll take Alamo Heights to win that one. Then Mission Veterans Memorial versus Pace. I'll take Veterans Memorial to win that one. weren't they one of like the most improved teams last year? Yeah. New Braunfels versus Sam Houston from San Antonio. Give me New Braunfels. It's weird to think they've had Division Two now because they were 6A not that long ago. So a senior next year is going to go from being 6A to 5 Division Two within the span of 4 years. It's because Long Creek took most of their kids. That's why. The Montgomery and Long Creek actually gets to play varsity football this year, which is interesting. The Montgomery versus Fort Bend Marshall. I'll take Montgomery to win that one. Port Neches Groves versus Victoria West. I'll take Port Neches Groves. Ometa Crawford versus Lake Creek. I'll take Ometa Crawford. Bastrop Huntsville. I actually take Bastrop to win that one. Bernie versus Sherlin. I'll take Bernie. Liberty Hill versus Pioneer. Give me Liberty Hill. Mercedes versus Alamo Heights. Give me Alamo Heights. And Mission Vansmore versus Braunfels. I'll take the Braunfels. And then Montgomery and Port Neches Groves. I believe an old district matchup. Give me Port Neches Groves to win that one. Ometa Crawford versus Bastrop. I'll take Ometa Crawford to win that. That could be a great game, though. Bernie versus Liberty. And actually, yes, all these teams I have are from District 13. I just think District 13 is the strongest one by far in that part because you got, Bernie versus Liberty Hill. I'll take Bernie to win that one. And then Alamo Heights versus New Braunfels. I'm actually say Alamo Heights wins that one. I have New Braunfels over them in the regular season. I think Alamo Heights will win that one. Then Bernie, Alamo Heights. Give me Alamo Heights. And I have Bernie beating them, I'm pretty sure. I would in this case. I actually say Alamo Heights is going to win that one. The Port Neches Groves, Alamo Heights. I'm actually say Alamo Heights goes to the state championship. And that leaves us with South Oak Cliff, Alamo Heights. I'm going to say South Oak Cliff wins that one. But yeah, there you go. That's my brackets, everybody. Hope y'all enjoyed that one. Thank you so much for watching. We got one more thing I want to show y'all. I'll actually show y'all the sheet I made out of it. Show y'all both sheets. Why not? There you go. That's just color cut. They're color coded to determine what district, what division they're in. And there's Division 1, Division 2. That's just for fun. And then for Division 1, yeah, I got some decent. I got some stuff in there. So yeah. Now let's go to our schedule predictions. Yes, I made a UIL composite schedule, currently in progress. I'll share this with everyone when I'm done with it. Yeah, I only have week 1 games for the most part. Boom, boom, boom. And yeah, boom. I got started on a few of these. It would be easier for me to see all that. And individual schedule predictions. Boom. This could change my thing. Here you go. Alito, Allen, Anna, Argyle. That one's not final, of course. Arlington, Seguin, Atascocita, Byron Nelson, Sea King, Cedar Hill, Cibolo Steel, Colleyville Heritage, Community, Crowley, Denton Ryan, DeSoto, Dickinson, Duncanville, Forney, Grapevine, Geyer, Heath, Highland Park. Katy, Lake Ridge, Lake Travis, Lancaster, Louisville, Lone Star, Longview, Lovejoy, Mansfield, Mansell Legacy, Melissa, Midlothian Heritage, North Crowley, North Forney, North Shore. There's a lot of North teams, geez. Pearland, Red Oak, Ridge Point, Rockwall, Royce City, South Oak Cliff, South Lake Carroll, Summer Creek, Summit, Timberview, Vandergrift, Walnut Grove, Waxahachie, Westlake. Boom. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah, those are all my. I'll make YouTube shorts on that eventually. Maybe I'll test it and go from there. But obviously, some of them are not ready to film. Like Argyle doesn't have a week 3 game yet. You know, it's been 3 months since we have it. But yeah, just Argyle's a tough time for fucking games. Let's see. Do they still have their week 3? All I know is it's going to be at home, apparently. So it's for now, at least. Wrong URL. Oh, that's better. I'm tired, dude. Oh man, it's been a long week. All I know in our district is we're playing Oak Ridge, Terrell, and Highland Park. That's a pretty good set, I will say. Still says TBD. Of course it does. Why would it not say TBD, bro? I even checked the board meeting. They said they still don't have a week 3 match scheduled. But I think they added funds in case they need to go far for it. Yeah. There, that's have. Oh. Except for Argo now. Yeah, it might be a controversial take to have Highland Park beating Highland Park, but yeah. Yeah, that game could go either way, to be fair. I think that game could go either way. Oh, for. There we go. Argyle? Sorry, I'll get that top real quick. Yeah. Oh. I'll make these okay, yeah. I'll eventually make these YouTube shorts, though. I'm like, what's up, guys? Today is part 32 of predicting Texas high school football schedule, predicting high school football teams for the season. And today we have pick a random team. I don't know who I'm going to pick. This actually not picking, but Heath, Rockwell Heath. I just put him as Heath because I was lazy. So I'm going to say Heath, although Rockwell Heath flows better, ironically. Heath, I think, is though. Yeah. I could put Rockwell. You know, I'll put Rockwell Heath still. Whoa, Heath. I'll move them into the order. I'm putting in alphabetical order so I can actually find them easily. Yeah, that'll do for this stream, though. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm gonna go shower now. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Have a nice day. Good. And goodbye. Oh, jeez. There goes my camera. See y'all next one. Peace.